What's up, world? Welcome to the Brotherly Mix-Up podcast where commentary, debates, and beats collide as two brothers try to break it down like nobody else can.
That's right. I'm the opinionated one, Kwesi.
And I'm Kwaku, the one that's here for the ride.
We're here to bring you the hottest discussions, the freshest takes, and the most electrifying debates straight from the heart of the culture.
Each week, we dive deep into the rhymes and reasons of life, from the streets to the sweets, pop culture, and everything in between.
So whether you're just vibing out or just looking for some real talk from some real brothers, you've come to the right place.
Yes, sir, because it's about to get real. This is the Brotherly Mix-Up podcast.
Sit back, relax, and check the rhyme and reason with us. Let's dive in. One of my favorite artists dropped their most vulnerable project to date. Please Don't Cry is Rapsody's fourth studio album. It hints at themes of self-discovery, introspection, and raw emotional honesty. Come chat with us as we discuss Please Don't Cry and the effects of vulnerability on an artist's project. Brotherly Mix-Up starts now.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the opening segment. We got Pulitzer Prize hater to do the intro for this episode. Hopefully, we'll just go.
I heard what y'all said,
going on,
and I don't appreciate it.
Before we get into our usual antics, how you been, brother? How you doing today?
And I'm hot. It's been hot. New York, it was ridiculous.
Shout out New York weather. I mean, the sun wasn't out today. It was just, it was cloudy.
It felt like it. It's crazy that I have to, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but when I go to work, I don't actually like going to work. Recently, I love going to work because they got AC there.
Oh, I won't lie. That's what I do miss about my prior job. The building that we were in, like that AC was on negative, I want to say negative 10 every day. Like, I had to walk out there, and the sun actually felt good. That's how cold it was. So yeah, I mean, if that's what's going on with you, pretty much you're gonna replicate your sentiments. The heat was crazy. Trying to train to run and do a.
Don't tell me you're gonna do a marathon or a fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what?
Since you
I don't like
brag
this.
about your calves,
No.
man. Like, I got.
You know what? Listen, let's tell the people, okay? He's jealous of my thigh muscle, okay? He's jealous of my quads.
Yo, can you pause?
All right, that's why he's doing this.
Can you pause?
No, I'm not pausing nothing. No, it's the truth.
That's not why I'm doing
jealous
this.
of my quads. Sure.
100% now I'm doing this. I got
Mind you, he got muscles everywhere else.
This man.
Okay, everywhere else.
Yo,
but he's jealous of my quads.
Yo, can you pause this? Like, no.
I'm not pausing nothing, no.
That's not why I'm doing this. I just got something coming up which requires me to have my endurance and stamina up. And I decided to pick up running again, even though I hate it with a passion.
What do you have coming up that you need to be running and doing all extra
I'm doing
stuff
a show.
for?
I'm trying to be like Kendrick during his show.
Oh, yeah?
The breath control is going to be crazy. I'm trying to wear a hoodie,
okay.
baggy jeans.
Okay. So you're doing the Matthew Knowles training course? That's her dad. When they were younger, yeah, he'd make them run and sing at the same time to, I guess, build up endurance and breath control and all that jazz.
Man, was treating them like they were the Jacksons, I guess.
Hey, it worked. Okay, it worked. I don't know if he had the belt like Jost did, but it worked.
Okay, I honestly, it's funny. It shows you how much I know about Beyonce. I only know about her mans. It's crazy.
Mans.
So, Mr. Hater, Kendrick's video. What we saying on that?
Yeah, I have not seen it, but I've seen a couple clips. Saw him dancing with his family and having a good time. And then I saw the caged owl. Okay, and as soon as I saw that, I hit you. I was like, Drake got to fight this man.
Yo, that's hard. Yo, that was a hard scene.
He got to fight this man.
Because
Like I am a history buff, okay, and iconography and motifs are very important for when you're telling a story and who won what and how whatever happened. Okay, these things are very, very important. History does not forget these types of things.
It don't.
Okay, this is gonna sound crazy, all right, but bear with me.
I don't think
The
it's not crazy.
swastika, the meaning of the swastika changed because of one man. Before that, it represented power. It was a divine symbol. Now it doesn't mean any of that. But Buddy got a caged owl in his video.
Well, can we take it for the literal thing of what it meant? That Drake's on lockdown. He can't do nothing no more. Well, not by
But
my
Drake gotta
standards.
fight this
Apparently, going according to Kendrick's standards.
Drake got to
you
fight
like-
this man. That's all I know. 'Cause that's top tier hating right there. That's like going into the history books.
Well, Mr. Iconography, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Drake hate aside, I think the video is a masterpiece. I'm not gonna lie. I think it should be, if not on its way to, nominated for Video of the Year, Hip Hop Video of the Year. I like.
Okay.
Let's say beef aside, like I think Kendrick's visuals are always good, especially through his company PG Lang and his boy Dave Free. I don't know how they. It has like some French pop art influence in it, so I'm wondering if their time in Paris and stuff is influencing a lot of their art, because I know Kendrick was in Paris for a minute. But like the way they had transition scenes and everything, it just seemed like they're influenced by a lot of like old cinema, and they're finding new ways to incorporate American culture, especially Black culture, into a lot of the videos they make.
So you're saying he's like a nouveau Childish Gambino?
Kinda. I would like to say that, like,
Okay.
because Gambino did do it with "This Is America," but I think Gambino just started doing that. I think Gambino's more of a surrealist or absurdist, 'cause,
Okay.
like he likes to like put a lot of like over the top things. I think Kendrick is
I
more
get you.
like, he does have over the top things, but I think he's more like, I'm only gonna put this.
He's
over the
more
top thing.
understated.
Yeah, it's like more subtle, and he's like, if he does do it overtly, it's because he's like, no, I want you to see that this thing in particular is an issue.
Yeah. Because I saw when he did the pop out, when he hit the wop wop wop, how the camera angles and all that stuff changed up and everything.
One of my favorite scenes.
And then
from that thing.
I heard that the video, the Not Like Us video, has some, how do you say, some Easter eggs for his new album.
Yeah, you know what? I
Well,
hate you
I
because
saw.
now
What?
that I'm realizing, now that we're talking, why don't you finish things?
What you talking about?
You finish the you finish TV shows, but like you ain't listening to none of the rest of the beef tracks, and then now you not watching the video. Just and
He's
take
interesting.
everything. So you have so you have the full formed, full fledged experience.
Well, you know what? I'll remember for the next time Drake gets in a beef with another
my
guy that's going to beat him.
Wait, just do it now. Just listen to it so you could be like, oh nah, this is really a bad song, or oh no, this was a good song. But yeah,
do.
that's just how I feel about the video. I think it's real good, and it's just the team that he has, and then like a lot of the Easter eggs you're talking about, a lot of the people he brought to the pop out show are in the video. So
Yeah, I heard Brandon T. Jackson was pushing people out the way so he could get his 15-minute.
yeah, that part was crazy. He even did the push-ups live in the video because he's like, I'm gonna still do these.
That is hilarious.
So, and
That's
he
funny.
did them on cinder block. So I'm like, this man, and you could tell he don't get tired. Like he looks like all he does is push-ups, man. Like I know in LA specifically, they call that when you're to working out and all that stuff, they call it programming. So like, I know that's
Oh.
yeah, that's the
You
term.
know what this
so-
sounds like?
I'm
It
listening.
sounds like from 5%ers stuff. Or like Black Israelite stuff.
Listen, I don't know if that's where the origins come from. I was hearing somebody say it may have something to do with the prison complex.
Just like that, because that's where they go and they find these religions.
Oh, okay. So then, hey, listen, I don't know. I'd have to research that. But yeah, they call it staying on program. So you programming. So when you're doing nothing but working out and like keeping like your brain and sharpen everything that you're staying on program. You're programming. So he did that in the video. What else? Like, I like the fits he got off in it too. The camera shots. I know there's some crazy theories going on around it, but I'm trying not to partake in a lot of theories I see on the internet. I kind of just want to like figure it out myself. And if I have a question, then I'll look deep into it. But they said there's like a lot of like, allusions to trafficking in it. So I think that's crazy if that turns out to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's insane.
Watch the video. I want to talk to you about it. Watch the video when you can. Like, I think it's crazy. But with that being said, we can kind of transition into the next point because I know you didn't watch the video, so I don't want to spoil enough for you. I just want you to see it. And then I know your TV's 4K, so like watch it on that. Watch it on that. I'm so serious. Like I know you think I'm joking, but I'm not, man. You need to see that thing in like the best quality you can. Like, I watched it when it came out on my phone. I was upset that I watched it on my phone. I was like, this movie, I felt like a movie. I was like, this is cinema. I'm like, this is too crazy to watch on this small form factor. I needed my TV, and then I proceeded to watch it. Yeah, I proceeded to watch it on my girlfriend's TV. She also had the 4K joint, so I thought that was worth it.
This is fascinating. He's making this thing sound like it's a moment in rap history.
Yo, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people that I know don't even really care about the beef. Even my little sister, she was like, "Oh, this a movie. I keep saying movie because it's cinema. This video is crazy." She was like, "Wow, this is a crazy video," and she don't even care that they was fighting.
I'll give it a watch.
You're also the show or the video, the movie guy, so. Let's transition into the other half of that. The boy, Mr. Six God himself.
69.
Oh, so how can you be on his side and use his
Hey, whoa. I never said I was on his side, okay? Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't do that. Okay?
But he's on Camila Cabello's album. I don't know if you've been following up with it. Apparently, there were stories that she was racist at one point.
Absolutely not. I barely know who that person is.
Yeah, we can speak in speculatory land right now. I didn't look up.
Oh, wait a minute! Ain't that girl that was hating on Normani from?
Yup.
What's the name of that group? Element 5 or what's the name of the group?
Element 5. Danity Kane and shit.
I can't remember the name of the group, but wasn't she the one that was being all?
Are we old?
God, that's worse than me.
All right, I'm listening. Yeah, I know she's beefing with that lady. Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Normani just dropped an album too.
Yeah, but I don't know the story between them two. I honestly don't know, but what I looked up on the internet was she did say some derogatory things in the past. She had use of the N-word. Yeah. And
it was a big deal a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I didn't know. And then when I was looking at it, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And then I did listen to the Drake song, and I heard the 2 singles she put out prior to the whole album with the Drake joints. I know she had the song with Lil Nas X and the other one with Playboi Carti. Didn't really care for those 2 songs.
You only like the Drake ones?
No, I don't even like. Listen, the Team Kendrick. I ain't gonna lie, I picked my side.
Team Kendrick. Wow.
I'm playing. I like both of them as artists. I just know what I'm checking for in terms of Drake now, and we've talked about this, even touched on it in our last episodes, where like I don't know, unless Drake comes out with some stuff that hits me in the heart, I ain't really.
It's never gonna happen.
I ain't really checking for him per se. I'm not gonna.
If that happens,
I'm just not checking for it.
If he ever does something like that, then pigs are flying. I'll play the lottery.
This man. But yeah, so it's funny, like she had those situations, and now I want to say she's trying to, whether for good or bad, I'm not gonna comment on that. Whoever listens to the album, they could tell me. But she's trying to embrace the culture.
Oh no. No. See, I figured you were gonna say something like that.
Listen. I'm not.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not. Hey, listen. I'm not gonna say
This
I'm not saying it's good or
this
bad.
is a tactic that they like to use
Oh my God.
to get an artist hot and popping.
You
And
5%er?
then when no, this is I have examples, okay? Miley Cyrus.
I believe you. I
okay?
believe you. Listen, I believe you. I'm not picking the side of her, or I just think I don't know if it's her. I don't know if it's her team. That's what I'm getting from the album.
Team, both. It don't matter. It's not going to work.
I'm not gonna say she's trash, but I'm not particularly jocking it.
It's not going to work. People have to like you. People liked Miley Cyrus.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Yeah.
They just didn't like that she switched up on them. Miss Camilla already came in with baggage. Okay? I don't know how she's going to be embraced.
I don't know.
But if this Drake thing ain't hitting the way it should be, then it don't seem like she will be.
Because truth be told, after I looked that up, the Playboy Cardi song made more sense to me as to why it was being done.
You know what she needs to do? She needs to go hit up Buddy with the country song.
Who, Shabuzi? Don't say that.
Yeah, him.
This guy.
I feel like they would work well together.
But yeah, so I just didn't understand why she ever played with Cardi. That song was and it kind of started making sense to me after I heard the whole thing in context, and I was like, oh wait. So that's just my opinion on that. But the Drake songs per se, one, he's featured, they're doing a duet, kind of like what he used to do with Rihanna back in the day. And then the other one is after the duet song, and it's him by himself, and he's like in his R&B bag, like hard.
Ugh.
Like full auto-tuned up and everything. And
auto-tune?
You know what? To be honest with you, if those songs, like I was kind of telling you beforehand, if those songs had came out prior to the beef, I think they would be high on the list. I think the beef kind of soured where it went, but they seemed like typical Drake songs.
So the beef messed up the stimulus package?
But honestly, but she was smart on waiting. Because if she dropped in the middle of the beef, then like it would have been dead in the water.
Yeah, but it would have got more attention though, no?
You know what? I do feel like, yeah, it would have got attention. And then I would even argue, like, and I don't know, do you think he would have been able to, like...
No. I don't even know the question, but no.
But I don't know. I feel like if I was in the beef, I'm dropping everything I can, like, still, while in the beef.
I mean, that's true. That would make sense.
So
Someone's got to hit.
Because I know he stopped. And I was like, I wouldn't have stopped. I would have been like, you know what? This guy engaged with me. I'm going to wait on my diss track to make it and release it back to him. And while that's in the pot cooking, I got these other songs I'm trying to drop. You know, I would have been like doing everything. But then again,
makes sense.
Some people would have probably seen it as in he's distracted, but I don't know.
I mean, that would have worked well, you know? Like, oh, I was distracted with the Camila Cabello songs. That's why I didn't do well here.
Yeah, so up to you if you want to listen to it. It's really like I don't want to say background music in a bad way, but like this could go up in the club. I know this man Joe Budden was saying it could go up at the hookah spot, but I definitely could see that at the hookah spot. Definitely see that like a low-key party vibe. Both songs.
Okay. I see. I mean, I guess it's one of those moody things that you got to encounter at a...
Well, actually, just to quickly put on my music person brain, I feel like the one where he solo should have came before the duet. Just because it seemed like an afterthought, or it seemed like a good intro into the song, but that's just my opinion. That's the last thing I'll say on that. Because it just felt like a continuation of the same like subject matter and thought idea. Like he even repeated some of the same like lines, and I'm like, oh, this would have been like a tee up, like an intro into it. I don't know how it didn't work for me particularly as the after. But
shameful, just shameful.
That's just my, artist brain working on that end.
Man, we gotta stop expecting things from them, man.
BET Awards. Didn't get to watch it. Really wanted to watch it. I know.
Oh my gosh.
Anything you
Okay.
want to play back for me real quick?
I personally think the show was great. I didn't see all of it,
Where'd
but
you
I saw.
Where'd you watch it? Don't incriminate yourself. Where'd you watch it?
Oh, I can't answer that question.
Okay, go on.
But I enjoyed what I was able to see. Okay, I think Taraji did a great job hosting. She should come back. This should be like a thing for her. Okay.
Okay.
I just think the show or the producers need to clear some things up. They need to give some of these guys, some of these people, some pointers as to how they want to present the show, because the outfits to this thing were insane. They made no sense. They looked like people dressed like they were going to a strip club. Like, not like a regular strip club, a hood strip club.
Oh,
You know,
okay, not
like
even like a
deep in the
swanky
hood.
joint.
No, it's deep in the hood, and you know when something is deep in the hood, you know what happens? You got to show up and show out in your best hood fit. That's what they look like.
Okay.
Remy Ma showed up basically naked. Right?
Oh,
She was
okay.
wearing some silver diamond encrusted chain dress with nothing else underneath it. I don't think.
Diamond encrusted.
All right.
That sounds
It's,
fire,
it looked crazy. All right. Some of these people, they look crazy. And I think that if you're going to promote a show like this for BET, Black Entertainment Television, there needs to be like an understanding between the show and the people going to the show. Dress properly, please. Okay?
but man, PSA.
Like, I'm so serious.
Yes,
When you
they
go
do.
to the Grammys, nobody dresses like this. Maybe some of the pop artists do, but there's a reason for that. They're pop artists. This is BET. The award show doesn't really, like, this is for the culture. This is for our community. This is for us.
I saw the trailers for it and I wanted to see it so bad, and then like I don't have all the streaming services, so I feel like I just forgot, and I didn't look up what streaming service it was on and where I could have watched it, and I just completely forgot it was on until like the next day.
Man, you could go on Twitter and just look
I saw the clips
at
though.
some of these outfits.
Definitely saw the clips. Actually,
Clips were fun. The show itself was fun. Taraji had a ball. She did the Kendrick Not Like Us.
yeah, my sister
Basically,
was
the
telling me about
concert, the
that.
pop out.
Yeah,
You know, that was the talk of Twitter or X. I didn't like how they treated the carpet.
okay,
Wasn't nice.
this is understandable. Completely understand that. What I saw the clip of it, and I just wanted your opinion on the what Gambino was saying, or Donald Glover.
He not lying.
The only Donald.
Why is that a thing?
The only Donald I respect.
Why is that a thing? The only Donald. What about Donald
Yeah.
Duck?
Well, the real life Donalds.
Well,
Okay, so I don't know why it became
I
a
thought what he
thing. I
said
know.
was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny too, but apparently there's some people making stinks about it. I don't know why. I guess because they said it's potentially like, what's the word, like disrespectful to Will, but then Will even put up a video like laughing at it.
Nah, it wasn't disrespectful to Will. If anything, he was being respectful.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I took it as. But then I don't know.
Yeah.
I seen it.
For me, it
That's
it reminded me of when Eddie Murphy presented the Oscar. I think it was in '88, where he got up on the stage and he basically chastised the Oscar community because they wanted him, because he was a big movie star at the time, and they wanted him to present the award for, I forgot the category, but it was one of the last awards of the night. And he was like, you know what? You need to recognize us more. You need to put us amongst the other people being represented here. So that's the lane I felt Donald Glover was in when he said what he said or did what he did.
Yeah.
Because really and truly, why does Ed Sheeran have more BET awards than Donald Glover?
Did you say Sam Smith?
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah. Sam Smith. Yeah, why does Sam Smith have more BET awards than Ed Sheeran? Not Ed Sheeran, Donald Glover. Why is that? If he's getting all these BET awards, does he show up to collect them? Because if he doesn't, then why are they giving it to him?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie. Sam Smith he makes good music.
See, it says it right here. Sam Smith didn't accept BET Award because he's white and didn't think he'd win. He didn't even show up.
But then I don't know. That doesn't seem like in a bad taste. He was just like, oh, like I didn't think they embraced me like that. Is this something I should show up to? That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
funny.
It says here that Anthony Anderson accepted the award on his behalf. That's fair. You're right. I give kudos to Sam Smith for that.
Yeah, because he probably
But that
knows like,
just
oh, I'm just
speaks
participating. Like, yeah.
That just speaks to what Donald Glover's saying. Why are y'all giving Sam Smith BET awards?
True. Hey, that's the what's it called? The network people.
Exactly. Okay, I have a question for you. It's on the BET awards still. What do you think about Tyler? That's her name, right? Tyler.
Yeah,
the girl that's saying "Get Me Wet."
Oh, hey, yo, pause, man.
How is that a pause?
That sentence coming from a guy is crazy.
She sang the song. Yeah, she's been getting some blowback because of her comments about being colored and not black.
You know what's funny? I did
So,
hear about this. Yes.
Interesting that she also got a BET award for someone that considers herself colored. I don't know. I just had an issue with her coming up with a distinction because there really isn't one as far as I'm concerned. Because I live in America, and in American history, they are the same.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that, like, I don't know, and I'll let you finish your point, but I know she did like a whole statement, and then I thought the statement was pretty, from what I remember from it, because this was a while ago. She did pretty good to explain why she chose certain words or why she even addressed it that way. But isn't that like the key part right there? The fact that like we as Americans see it different as like somebody from another like culture or area would see it. Isn't that like the major problem?
I think that is the major problem because I think she also needed to understand where she was and the audience she was speaking to, because how can you come to the country that your country built its system of oppression off of and then say, oh, that's not what this means? Yes, it is.
Okay. So like
this is exactly where you guys got it from. Just because, you dress it up a different way doesn't mean it changes.
You think that like she really should have did like, it's still her fault for saying the way she did. She still should have like, I guess, read the room or did her research on the proper way to speak.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it could have, I think, I also saw the statement that you're talking about, and I think she did explain herself better with that, but I think she should have been able to do that in the first instance, like when this became an issue. Yeah. And I just didn't think she did a great job of that, and it kind of dragged on for longer than it should have, especially on such a touchy subject here in America. And then, where you're from is just... You should have handled that better.
Yeah. But then I don't know, she looked black to me, so I ain't gonna lie.
It's what I'm saying. It's like you're saying that, but then we had the one drop rule. We had the paper bag test. Your country got that stuff from this country. Okay, you can't come here and say, oh no, guys, it's different.
But do you think that's like her being ignorant or just like she's just young?
I think it's a combination of things. I think, like you said earlier, South African society is different from American society. And yes, she is young, so she probably wasn't able to articulate herself in the beginning. Yeah, but I guess this speaks to like an overall issue in the industry where they don't prep their artists for what they may or may not encounter during an interview.
Yeah, because I was going to say, interview.
She should have known.
Saying like stuff.
As soon as she heard that type of stuff, or maybe she was the one that brought it up or something. I can't remember, but she should have known how it would play here. Because over here, the diaspora wars are crazy.
Yeah, the OD crazy. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Just want to congratulate Lupe on his new album, Samurai. I don't know if you want to touch on that. Actually, I do want to touch on that. I wanted to sit down and actually talk to you about Vince's album. Sorry, Vince Staples'
Ick. I
album.
was like, what?
Sorry,
You know what? I listened to that one
the whole
a
thing
couple of
straight through.
days ago. Yeah.
So I want to have an in-depth conversation with you about it, but we're not gonna do it on this episode.
Okay.
And then, shout out to Meg dropping her album too. I also want to touch on something about that album. I'll let you pick first.
I ain't listened to that one.
Well, it's not really the fact of listening. So, just because you said that, I didn't listen to it either. I'll just touch on her point first. Actually, I want to touch on Lupe's album first, and then we'll go back to Meg's. There's a reason why I want to talk about Meg's album, because it also correlates to Rhapsody's album, ironically.
Ooh, okay.
Which is funny.
Okay. This will be interesting.
Yeah, so Lupe's album, I think it's good. Pretty solid release, especially since Drill Music in Zion was a pretty good release. I think he's like in his what would you call this? Because I know he had a specific word for it when he did Drill Music in Zion, where he's like just buckling down and making concise, short projects in a short amount of time and then just dropping it.
He's in his blue period.
Right? Is that what that is? And it's like...
I mean, it's like a thing people say thanks to Picasso.
Yeah. So for the way he's doing it, I don't know. I think this is like, I don't know, like we're really watching somebody who is like, if not damn near mastered it, like on his way to like final form. Because for him to think of these concepts and just make them in his living room on the spot in probably like a day a song or however long he's doing it and then just drop, I don't know, that's pretty good.
So I watched the Fantana review of this project.
He actually gave it a good review. I saw that too, yeah.
I know, I was surprised. But then again, he's been giving Lupe's last 4 projects good reviews.
Okay.
So it speaks to your point. He really is in his blue period. But he said that he has mastered it to the point where he references the 90s era, like the golden era of rap. Mm-hmm. He's like, Lupe, that is what Lupe has ascended to at this point.
Because honestly, I was getting those vibes on this project. Like, there was a song on there in particular, it reminded me of Paris, Tokyo. Because I remember he did that style of the 90s style with that song. But this sounded like a more evolved and, like, cleaner version of that song. And that song is still good, too, to me, at least. But, like, it started giving me that vibes. I'm like, yo, is this, like, kind of old Lupe, but with, like, more intense bars? Like, I was, like, what? I didn't expect this.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't get to that point because he is so dense that just listening to the words come out of his mouth, you're missing so much.
Yeah, and I only gave it the one time through, so I like whatever filtered through, that's what I'm like going off of. But I do want to listen to it again. I listened to it.
That could be its own project because that thing, it's like 30 minutes, but it's so dense.
So I do want to talk about
There's one song where he's just rapping.
Yeah.
Rapping. Yeah, I have no idea what he's saying, but he's just going.
So, I just want to be in speculation territory here. I think, and again, it's like you just said, I have to like re-listen to it to make sure I caught the thing appropriately, but I think he disses Kendrick on here. I feel like he just had to say something to get off his chest. That's what the line came across to me as. But I'm going to double check that song to make sure that's what it was.
I mean, I would absolutely believe it if it were true, because I remember in Kendrick's early part of Kendrick's career where people were comparing him to Lupe, and Lupe wasn't really feeling that, and he said some things that he ultimately apologized for in the end. So I wouldn't be surprised if he would throw a little jab, because, I think, I don't want to call him salty, but I believe Lupe is 100% better than Kendrick in terms of how he puts lyrics together. So I know Kendrick is like quintuple entendre king, but I feel like Lupe does that type of stuff better than Kendrick does.
Yeah.
Or, well, you know what? I wouldn't say, maybe not better better isn't the word, but
Do you mind if I
as
chime in?
far as,
Because I think I know what you're
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
say.
sure,
I
sure.
think I think what you're trying to say, and then let me know if I'm wrong or right. I think Kendrick makes it more consumable for us.
Yes.
Where Lupe doesn't really care if we get it or not.
I kind of disagree with that.
Well,
I think with Lupe, he wants you to like look it up and try to understand it. And he gets
because
frustrated when people don't.
I was listening to somebody break down Kendrick, and I kind of had this epiphany for myself. But like they have similar subject matter for the most part, but more so Kendrick is talking about himself and internal struggles. Well, I mean they both do, but his topic and the way he goes about it is so like worldly, where where it's not too nichey, where it's like let me use an example to kind of illustrate. So like for instance, like in Damn, he was telling the story, and I know you don't like that album, and I know you haven't listened to it in a while, and I remember I told you this last time,
Seven
but
years.
yeah, he kind of if you really look into that album, he found a way to tell us a story, and it's like a biblical story. Like apparently, like that album was influenced by the story of Jonah in the Bible, and I think it was interesting because, like as humans, like we love stories, and what's one of the best selling books in the world? The Bible, right? So he was able.
Dictionary.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, I said one of. Anyway, he was able to, whether we saw it or not, I just think it was intentional for us to consume it because of he used that technique, right? Whereas I agree with what you're saying, and yeah, I do see it too. Lupe does want us to look things up, but like I think Kendrick doesn't care if we do or don't, and his songs work both ways. Whereas, like you just said, Lupe, I know you say he gets mad if we don't, but I also think his stuff is like so out there. He doesn't care if not everybody does. Who's like on his level will get it. Will get it.
Yeah, I get that. I
That's what
mean,
I
I would have to agree with that
because
because he's so deep. I think, like with this whole Drake and Kendrick thing, people are being introduced to a new side of Kendrick. Or, well, I shouldn't say a new side of Kendrick, but a more polished side of Kendrick with the iconography and you know the the way he's introducing certain scenes and things in his videos and in the music and things like that. And, the A minor line can be dissected like three different ways and it works. And I think we're getting more of that from Kendrick.
Yeah.
Whereas before he would like say a hot line or whatever and then he'd disappear.
Yeah.
But now it's like he's bolstering the lines that he's saying with videos, with I guess imagery, and the entendres are getting deeper and easily digestible, like you said. And people are getting that from him now. Whereas I feel like with Lupe, he was doing that from the jump.
I was about to say that. So you're saying he's just catching up to this guy in terms of that?
Yeah, so that's why I say like Lupe is better than Kendrick in terms of how he puts together his verses and his projects because he does it on such a level. Like people didn't know what a manila was, okay? I had never heard of that. Did not know that people used to get traded for manillas.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I don't want to say Kendrick wouldn't do something like that, introduce you to something you've never heard of before and the importance that thing has to history because like you said, Kendrick doesn't necessarily deal with a world view. It's more localized. It's more about his community and his where he's from and how he relates to whatever he's going through. Whereas
funny.
Lupe, you're going to learn about things that happened across the world.
I think I found that something. It's also to capitalize on what you just said, and then also to help my explanation from earlier. I think I don't want to say Kendrick's not a worldview. I think he focuses on the human experience more than like Lupe in terms of he's able to project the stuff that he goes through and relate it to everybody, right? His struggles of fame and like him being a good person and all this, I think is something we can all try to empathize with. Whereas I'm not gonna say Lupe doesn't do this, but I think Lupe more so tries to teach us how it all correlates person to person.
It all comes together.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like I like Lupe. I like both sides of like that lyrical coin. But I think that's what, if you were to ask like the average person why they don't like Lupe, I think that's why they don't. Because I don't think they're able to like get past themselves yet.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Plus, a lot of the things Lupe talks about, if you don't read or if you don't pay attention to certain things happening in the world, you're not going to get a lot of what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of it is history, a lot of it is current events, a lot of it is things that maybe aren't on the news as much as they should be.
By the way, shout out to Lupe. He's really funny on X right now. He's been interacting with fans after Samurai, and he's been posting up a lot of rebuttal statements and stuff to people when they ask him what his hobbies are. With the shiesty on?
Yeah.
Hilarious. But he's been doing that for a minute, though. People will ask him what his hobby is, and then they'll be like, you never kayaked, and he'll put up a picture of himself kayaking. It's like, you don't work in the gym, and he puts one of him working out. He's just been, like, hitting people, and I'm just like, yo, what does this guy not do? You know, it's like... I forgot somebody hit him with like the most random thing, like, "Oh, I bet you don't do this," and then he had a picture for it, and I was like, "What?" Like, that was so niche. Like, he's really doing that? Like, I forgot what it was, but he was.
It'd be hilarious if it was just an AI generated image.
But the thing is, I don't. Well, it'd be funny if it was, but I don't think he does that. I think he really does all the things they were calling him out on at least once in his life. Like, Lupe just seems like I'm gonna try everything.
I honestly believe it. The dude is a black belt in, what was it? And Kendo? Mm-hmm. That's a Japanese martial art. Who does that?
Yeah, like I think he's really like, I'm out here, I'm trying everything, I'm doing everything, and then he has a picture and a receipt for it all. Like,
yeah. I believe it.
But yeah, shout out to Lupe. I guess that sounds like a topic for next time. If you're about it, we could actually like get into that album. I just want to touch on Meg's album lightly. Didn't hear it. We don't have to talk about it deeply, but shout out to her for putting out the stuff. And it's also going to help us the transition into Rapsody because I just think, I don't know, I
can't wait to hear this.
I know people want to say it every year and all that stuff, but I really think female rappers are having a big year. It's good for rap in general, not just like, I don't want to just say for female rap.
You know what? I would go further than just saying female rappers. I think anything regarding female entertainment and sports, it's all coming together. It's like a perfect storm. It's amazing to see, actually.
Yeah. Everything is like
a lot of this stuff is good.
Yeah.
A lot of it is good. You're not getting a watered down version of anything. A lot of it is good. I mean, despite what you might think of some of the participants, a lot of what's happening right now is just great to see.
Yeah. I didn't listen to Meg's album yet, but the consensus of a lot of the outlets I frequent are saying that it's actually one of her most cohesive yet. Because apparently, like, her mixtapes, you know, had just bangers on it. And then the albums she had after the mixtapes were just, like, you know, shimmers of the mixtapes. I heard that this one is actually pretty consistent. That's what I've heard. And I haven't really listened to a Meg album. So this might be the first one I listen to, you know, front to end. And I've heard her mixtape. So you going to say something?
The only thing I know about this project is what I saw from Fantano's review. And I think he gave it like a 6 or a 7.
So I didn't watch the review.
For Fantano, on a project like this, yeah. So
I didn't watch the review. I kind of want to listen to it first, but we'll see. And there's one song in particular. I don't know the name of the song. I know this album's snake themed. I listened to the song, but here's the part that you've been waiting for. Here's how it ties into Rapsody. She also has a female pleasure masturbating song on this album.
That is hilarious.
So I think this is
Wait. Wait, I don't know if you're gonna know this. I don't know if you're gonna know the answer to this, but is it her doing it or is it just, somebody else?
It's so funny. I don't know. It's her. It's about I guess it's an anthem for women who just want to do that, right? And
I don't know. I feel like Biggie started this. But go ahead.
It actually has a funny name. Let me see if I can find it. But that's the tie right there. This is the year that women have songs for that alone time that they want and or need.
You know what? I ain't mad at it.
What's it
I ain't
called?
mad at it.
Oh yeah, it's called Downstairs DJ. That's the name of the track.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I just thought that was so funny because I was, like I said, the media I was listening to, I watched Ebro's show on Apple, and Nadeska, she was talking about it, and she was like, "This is the song."
I'm gonna go look for this clip.
And I was like, "No freaking way!" Like the second song this year, I'm gonna have to listen to that emulates that. I just think that's funny.
You can thank Biggie and the Diddler.
Dude. Oh my god! But so there's how it ties. So into Rhapsody's album, we more or less challenged each other. I know I listened to it from the last episode, but I re-listened to it again so I could have notes to compare against your notes for your first listen.
I just want to say before we get into this, to the one hater out there, you know who you are. I am a real fan. Okay. Just keep that in mind. All right.
Do you? I know you kind of opened up this episode, but I don't know if you have anything you want to open up this particular discussion with, or should we just jump in song by song?
Okay. So full disclosure, I didn't write notes for all 20 some odd songs because that's crazy.
You made it sound like you did, so I did.
No.
You made it sound like you did, so I did.
That's what you did. More power to you. Okay, I think that would help the discussion, but I didn't do that. I talked. My notes are. Let's just jump into it. I listened to this and I tried to understand why people were saying that this is a vulnerable project. Uh-huh. So my thoughts aren't necessarily a commentary on Rhapsody and how she put the project together, but it's more a commentary on how people are listening to it and how people are experiencing similar things, like how people experience vulnerability and what they think it is. Because to be quite honest with you, I don't think this is as vulnerable as people are making it out to be.
So I was going to ask you something real quick before you finish that thought. So we're being honest. How we feel about the album?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, go.
Yeah, I just don't think it's as vulnerable as people are saying. Because I remember after we got off the pod, we were talking and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm listening to it, but it's so dense and it's so vulnerable." So I'm like, okay.
Well, I didn't say vulnerable. I said it was a lot of songs.
Okay. I do remember you saying it was dense. So maybe it's about
if I use dense, is probably because I was like, I'm not, because I remember the clip. I was like, I'm not used to listening to 22 songs back to back from Rhapsody.
Okay.
So if I use dense, it was probably because of the quantity of songs that I had to navigate.
I got a little excited because, like I said, she's one of my favorite rappers, and her previous project, love it. I replay that song. I mean, not the song. I replay that album a lot because I love how she put it together and how each song is
sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that one. So I was excited when you said that. And when I kept seeing people say, "Oh, this is vulnerable," you get to get into her head and see how she's feeling about X, Y, and Z. I gotta say, I didn't necessarily get that from this project.
So, just to piggyback off what you said, because I don't think I have a debate point yet, but I see what you're saying, and I do have a debate point. I would argue like I think this is vulnerable for her, right? And I would argue the reason why, and then I felt this too, that is not as vulnerable as everybody's saying is I want to say for me, the quality didn't match what she wanted to talk about. And
Yes.
I don't know whose fault that is per se. I don't want to like blame anybody in particular, but I don't know. Like I feel like some songs, if we're just being candid, real quick off bat, it's not a bad album. I still enjoyed it, but I don't know if it's like the mixing or the beats weren't clear or her vocals weren't clear. Like it just felt like quality wise, a downgrade a bit.
Okay. So
Like,
you would have to take the lead on that because I can't speak to none of that stuff.
okay. And
But
I would press you to see if that's the reason why you probably didn't like walk away from it like this was like a watershed, because I think sometimes like the quality of the audio affects the experience.
while I agree with that, for me, it's more about the words and how she's expressing herself.
Okay.
Because one of the things I did was I went out and I found articles where she was talking about the album, where she was talking about what inspired, the different songs and things like that. And one of the things they did in the article was they'll give you some of the lyrics from the song they're talking about. And I have to say, for Rhapsody, some of these lyrics are corny, man. Some of them, they just, I'm so serious. Like, what was the song? I have it here. Hold on, let me get my notes. All right, so on the song 3 a.m., at the end, he starts talking about brown sugar. Just randomly, out of nowhere, talking about having a baby. Now, it probably fits the song because the song is about, love and experiencing things at 3 a.m. and all that jazz. But you're bringing in an iconic movie in the Black community where I feel like you could have incorporated that into the song itself better than just talking about it. Oh, I feel like I'm in brown sugar and I'm Sana and you're whoever. Why? It just a lot of it didn't necessarily connect for me because she did things like that. Those are like high point moments in your song or in a project, and if you do them the right way, they can have a lasting impact. People will remember them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I forgot the song, but she was like, "Oh, I don't have time for baby boys and something something," and then just stops the rhyme. And even the baby boy reference, Baby Boy as a movie sucks. Okay, I don't know why it has a hold on the community. I don't know why people like that movie, but it's terrible.
Before you even start that, let me walk back real quick, right? And like I enjoyed her interviews that she did on the press run for this, right? And that's why I got the sense that this album is very vulnerable for her, right? Because I don't know, it's stuff that I figured that she wouldn't want to talk about on the everyday to day, so she put it in the music, right? So this is for us to experience. So that's why I would still call this a vulnerable album. It just depends on the person's vulnerability, right? Like for her, this might have been very vulnerable. Like for you
Right,
or us, it might be like, nah, you gotta say some crazier shit for it to be vulnerable. But
Right. So that's why I was saying this.
But
That's
wait,
why I was saying this isn't necessarily a comment on her.
yeah,
This is a comment on other people considering this to be vulnerable.
yeah. So now the reason why I want to walk back is because I just want to like give you my perspective on the album as a whole, aside from like the quality, and then we could go track by track because you kind of started. But I don't know. The album reminds me. I know this is gonna sound, you might attack me out first, but let me finish the whole sentence. It does remind me of Mr. Morale, but thematically in terms of the subject matter, not the execution or the production style. right? Would you consider Mr. Morale more vulnerable than this?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
I
So,
actually have that.
okay, cool. So it does remind me of it, but very like I don't want to say she didn't go as deep as Kendrick did with Mr. Morale, right? And I think that's also a little bit of your point right there. And a lot of the bars I was hearing kind of struck me as existentialist stuff. Like she's doing the work, yes. I don't want to say she's not doing the work. She's doing the work, but I was getting a lot of generalized feelings with certain songs and bars as opposed to like inner reflecting, right? And would you say this is her? And this is a question I have written down for you. And the question is to open up this point. Would you say like this is a more radio friendly version of her, or is this it's because I guess you're saying it's not as technical as she could be, but would you say this is like a more radio friendly version of her stuff, like album wise?
No,
Do you think it's constructed to be played like that, or
I think it's constructed to be played the way it's being played. Because
okay.
her most radio friendly project was Layla's Wisdom. Like she put that together trying to get on the radio.
Okay. So now the reason why I asked that is because I don't know, like I was trying to see her point of view like 100% while listening to it, right? And I just think it's hard for technical rappers to survive out here, right? And I know one of the main points she wanted to bring up in the album was like she thought about quitting rap in general, and that's why it took her so long to put out this thing because she kind of lost the motivation to keep doing this. And not the motivation as in because she didn't like rap, and I heard this in the interview too, but because I guess people aren't checking for the stuff that she does. And I just think just the sphere for technical rappers is a little difficult to make it in the mainstream. And I mean like technically dense. I'm not saying it's impossible, but more often than
So
not, they're not making it as opposed to the people who aren't, I don't say they're not trying, but who aren't really trying to be lyrical miracles, right?
I feel like you cheated off my paper because I was actually going to address this.
Go ahead, yeah, we can talk about it. I ain't treat off your baby. You
So,
didn't send me nothing.
so we probably read some of the same or watched some of the same interviews because I saw her mention this point too. And one of the songs on the album, she actually has a line where she says she thought she'd be more praised by her own people or something like that. Mm-hmm. But when I read that, I couldn't help but wonder, okay, I know you want to get this praise from your own community, but are you meeting your community where they are?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She mentioned in one of the interviews I read that she thought she was going to get love from BET, but BET didn't start checking for her until I think recently or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And my first thought was, okay, but are you going to BET events? Are you going to the BET award shows, even though you might not get an award? Maybe you're not part of the program. Are you showing up? Are the the execs, are they seeing you? Are you doing BET shows? Are you doing the things that don't have to necessarily deal with rap? Are you networking? Because it just sounded on the project like he was saying, "Hey, I'm black and I'm a great rapper. Why aren't you checking for me?"
I do get those
So
lines. I
those
would
were
like to
the
think
questions.
I would like to think she's doing it. Go on, though. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, because she left Ninth Wonder, like they broke up, they split. Now she's with Rock Nation. Now you're seeing her everywhere. All these interviews that she did interviews with a bunch of different publications. Okay,
Yeah.
before when she put out her first album, and when she did Layla's Wisdom, it wasn't like this. Yeah.
I really don't want to sound crazy saying this statement, but it's the only one I have right now to use to explain this. I guess you could say she's like, if not a B-list rapper, somewhere there. So the stuff that I guess she wants to do is not really in her sphere yet. And I don't know.
Well, until now.
Yeah, until now, yes, yes. So now she kind of has the team to do it. And I guess what you're saying
Right.
is she can't really complain because she just got the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So why are you complaining about something that you weren't able to do for whatever reason? These people aren't just going to come check for you because you're black and you're a dope rapper. You have to bring something to their table.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason, there's a reason Tyler won an award.
Maybe that's why, like, I feel like the quality should have been better. Because I'm like, I don't know, like, every project, if I listen to an artist, unless they're, like, going out their way to experiment, like, not to bring him up again, but like Kendrick did with Mr. Morale, I expect quality to be, like, polished.
Up here.
You know what I mean? Like, if your first album sounded like this, then this third one needed to sound like you recorded in like a bunker with padded walls, and like the reverb was ridiculous, and then you had like the most craziest engineer mix it. Like, you know what I mean?
I think that was the second album, because it sounded pristine.
Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I was kind of shocked when I first started playing this. I'm like, why does it sound muggy? Like, and I'm like, oh, like, and then I was trying to think as the album was going, I'm like, is it because she took the break that like she had to like really like start over and like try to do things and like finish it, or like I couldn't really tell per se.
Yeah, but she's not mixing it though,
I know, and then that's why I want to know
So-
who's on the mixing team, because then, you know how you just said the whole thing with Ninth Wonder. I'm pretty sure Ninth Wonder has an ear, or like the team that she had
Yes.
with him. They're mixing
Yes.
people. Like, I feel like when Ninth Wonder puts out stuff or sends beats to people, they sound clean. Let's go track by track, and because it also is like segue from the sound. Throughout this whole thing, they had, what's his name, Black Odyssey. I'm not sure if you ever heard of him. I don't know if he's like considered like a singer, but I listened to his album and he sings, and he has a lot of soulful production. So he's like co-producer on this apparently. So he did like a handful of the tracks or more, like basically half these tracks, and then S1 and some other people did the other half. And I personally feel like
Maybe that's the reason.
every good beat on here, no disrespect to S1, he still had some heat on here. I think every like beat that fit thematically and was like nice was from Black Odyssey on here. How
You're
do you
the
feel
rap
about
star.
song number one? Or Marlena.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
Short,
I have to
concise,
compare
short,
her a lot to
concise.
Jay-Z
Short, concise.
because
Come on.
of how she raps.
Let's do it. Short, concise.
It just sounded like an opening to one of Jay-Z's albums. I didn't really feel any kind of way about it.
Oh shit. Okay. So I think it was though that she got Felicia Rashad, right? I don't know. I feel like she came barred up on this one compared to the other tracks, right? I thought it was interesting.
I mean, I guess, but see, again, for me,
It's the opener.
it's more about
It's just to wet the palate.
how she's rapping.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's how she's rapping. The pressure made a Ruby. The disrespect gonna make you meet the rude me. In a two-piece, I found peace. On an island in the southeast. Single solo, but I ain't ringless.
know
You
you-
had the rhyme going, you had the cadence going, and then it just cuts.
So I know what you're saying. But I don't know. It's just like, you know, it just opens it up. Like, she's just trying to build the world a little bit. After, like, the prelude, she's going to her therapist or therapy
Her
appointment.
beautician.
Oh,
It's her
is it
beautician.
Oh,
Yeah, she's doing her hair.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so I don't know. And I see what you mean by the Jay-Z part, because I know she had that line was men lie, women lie, lies run the world before truth can tie its shoes. I thought that was a hard line though. I wasn't looking like in terms of bars, in terms of like triple miracle entendres, but like I feel like she was saying real stuff. You know, like
Yeah, she
real
was saying
down-to-earth
real stuff, but it's funny that you had a problem with the mixing because I thought beats and
on this
the
one,
mood
I
they
think it's
set-
pretty good.
Yeah, but for me, on the overall project, I think the beats did a lot of the work for setting the mood and giving it some kind of thematic feeling.
So I have notes
Because, like
for
I said,
every song. I'm gonna point out the songs that I feel like had the holes. So this isn't one of them. So
okay,
you're fine for saying that. That's
okay,
fine.
okay. So you actually
Like,
like this one?
yeah, cohesively, I hate when like an album is like all over the place, and that's what I feel like happens with this, where it's like, damn, the song before this was all so crisp. What happened? And I feel like this album has too many of those spots.
Okay.
And then if an album has too many of those spots, and I'm just giving you my rubric, that's when I feel like, okay, the whole project is kind of, it's not consistent. It doesn't mean the album is bad necessarily. It just means like, okay, like what happened? Why isn't everything mixed at least to the same level?
This is so interesting. This is so interesting because you have that thought about the mixing and the sound, and I have that thought about the words and the rhymes.
Well, I have that about the words and the rhymes too, but I don't know. I went into this album looking for bars. Don't get me wrong, and I have some of the same comments you do because I have them written. So when we get song by song, I'll get deep into that. But I think maybe I had like the beer goggles on because since she said this was going to be like a vulnerable album, maybe that's why I'm not checking for like barred up. I'm just checking for like, is she okay?
Yeah. Right.
So I guess you could say my expectations were like softened a bit because I felt like this album wasn't trying to do all that. Like, yeah, she does it, but maybe I wasn't checking first. So maybe that's why. But I don't know. But I think the
All right.
producer
So
on this one
what about Asteroids?
Next one. Not gonna lie, initially did not like this track as a single, but in the context of this album, Hit Boy did his thing. I want to hear your take on the bars, but I feel like she had two good lines in here that stood out to me. She's like,
What are they?
The one of the line where she was like, "It's hard to rap without a message." That's all she could do. And then they don't pay me at the level that I rap at. I thought those were two.
That's very
lines
true.
that stood out to me.
Very true. Here. For me, the lines that stood out on this one were, and again, we spoke about this earlier, but it's if they can't benefit off you, then they act shady. I thought most of the love would come back from my ladies, about 60-40. I'm just making observation. I think this for me was interesting for two reasons. First, the one we spoke about earlier where, yeah, she's saying stuff, but are you meeting these people where they are? Right? Again, just because you're a dope rapper that's a lady doesn't mean that ladies have to check for you. At the same time, I also thought these lines were interesting because they remind me of your boy J. Cole. What do you call it? I think it's Firestarter from
oh my goodness,
2014. Yes, that from 2014, where he says something outlandish, but then he's like, "I'm just playing." I feel like she qualified what she said. Oh, I'm just making an observation. Like she didn't want to scare people off. But if you feel that way and it's something that grinds your gears, say it. Don't apologize. Don't diminish what you're saying. But it's stuff like that where she'll say something and people can consider it questionable. Why are you saying that? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
and I think that's
her, but it was like
the issue that I have with this project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look what you've done. Quick notes. What are you saying?
Drake. Look what you've done.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait. I was like, this sounds like Drake? Or?
A lot of this one didn't necessarily stand out to me. Questioning why Lauryn Hill left, she told you. You don't have to question it.
My little notes. I think the beat is immaculate. I don't know.
Who did this one?
Black Odyssey did it.
Okay.
It fit thematically. I know you didn't like the words, but for this song, I liked her flow. Right? I liked how she did like the voice shifting thing throughout the song, especially to emphasize certain bars. I'm not saying the words were worth the emphasizing, but I did like the effect and the decision she made to make a melody out of it. The Erica Badu interpolation at the end or in the middle of the melody, I think was a nice homage or touch. She put Charlemagne on the outro, so I was
Yeah.
wondering how many bottles she sent to him.
Probably none.
But I know Charlemagne's a big fan of hers. Well, according to himself, self-proclaimed, big Rapsody fan apparently. But I don't know. I think thematically wise it fit and it set a mood. To be honest with you, I kind of feel like Marlana should have went into "Look What You've Done"
Okay.
because to break it up with Asteroids was a little weird to me, but that's my opinion. D&D.
I think this one is a little bit more vulnerable than the previous couple because she's talking about people wanting stuff from her. I think that's easy for anyone to relate to. It's not as deep or anything like that, but it's fairly understandable and relatable.
This song relatable as hell for me, bro. I be feeling
Yeah.
like this. I'm
So
just like, bro, I don't want to answer no phone calls, man.
it's easy for you to get into something like this because quick, simple, you understand it, you've gone through it.
Kind of why I asked if you think this was like her radio album. I don't know. 'Cause I feel like there's a lot of instances on this album where she was like, okay, like, I'm making a relatable ass song for the people.
Honestly, I think the relatability is just a product of her trying to be vulnerable. Because in essence, that's what vulnerability is. It's one person giving another person an experience that they might not have gone through or that they have gone through, and the other person being able to relate to it in a certain way.
Yeah. But like
So
the reason
that's-
why I'm doubling down on this statement is because like I feel like even the production choice wise though, like I understand what you're saying, the subject matter, everything that's fine, but like this song and the other two I'm gonna mention later, I was like, I feel like she went out of her way to make sure these beats and or these songs were constructed for like I need this to play. And then, I'm not saying artists don't do that in general, but I was trying to gauge the intention of if this album was supposed to be that as a whole.
No.
Because
I
a lot of
think
these songs came out as singles first.
Right. I mean, maybe. I honestly can't speak to that. I just know that with her previous album, Layla's Wisdom, she spoke about wanting to have radio hits, wanting to have songs on the radio, wanting songs to chart. As far as this album is concerned, I haven't seen anywhere where she says she made it specifically for that purpose. She's never mentioned in relation to this album wanting it to do those types of things. This to me, like the rollout and everything, felt like, like you said earlier, this is like a vulnerability for her. So it's like she's trying to present who she thinks she is at the moment. And she just wants you to have that experience, not necessarily about, wanting things to play here or play there, because I think a large part of this project's rollout was she wanted it to be on vinyl. So maybe that's what you're picking up, because I know they say things sound better on vinyl.
Maybe. I would have to see the vinyl.
Because a lot of the images and videos and stuff like that she put out for this, because she has like an artist friend, and he did the cover and things like that. So I think it's more about that.
So
I would say.
Let me just finish my points here for the D&D. Black Odyssey again, going crazy. Did you pick up on the Juicy flip?
I think I heard that, but again, I wasn't paying attention to that.
Okay, I guess not.
Probably didn't. No, it did. Again, it didn't register for me because I wasn't.
See, so like you
I
missed
got
the.
really into the words. I got really into the words.
But
I
that's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
really
That's
trying to understand why people thought this was vulnerable.
okay. Because I was gonna say that's part of the words though. Like it's funny. I was listening to words, but then I was also listening to the flow, the beat. Because sometimes like like I guess I don't know if you want to call it artist brain, but like I feel like sometimes it's like you put so much work and like sometimes the words don't even be hitting people. It's like all right, I want to make sure at least the flow beats them over the head, or the way I'm like
You
sounding
know
on the
what?
beat hits them over the head.
It probably is because this is the reason why earlier I heard Lupe's album, but none of that stuff you're talking about registered to me because I was listening to the words.
I'm done.
I was trying to understand why he's saying what he's saying. It didn't really register how he's saying it, in spots where it doesn't matter. Because I know, you say certain things certain ways so that it can rhyme with whatever comes next and things like that.
Next song, Black Pop
Before you
Star.
go, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Is this one of the songs you had an issue with?
What, D&D?
No, Black Pop Star.
Why?
Well, again, going back to the interview and what her answers were, in relation to this song, this was done for a whole other project. This was done before this project was even twinkle in the eye.
So my only issues, if we're gonna talk about issue real quick first with this song, is never heard of the Dixon guy. Not a fan of his verse. Energy wise, I guess he was there, but I don't know if it's like his rapping style. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just not a fan of it. It wasn't for me. Then the little outro she put at the end to continue the story or the narrative of the project, it just felt like abrupt. Yeah, the fidelity was not as clean as I feel like it could have been. Because I feel like if this was crisp, because like I could tell she was trying to be in her trendy bag here, and I liked her flow and I liked like how she was going about it. Like she rapped, kind of like, I don't want to say she never raps modern, but like this seemed like a Spotify like rap caviar song, right? And I liked it. I like this on her. I like how she shows she can do it. But I feel like when I'm listening to one of those songs from a playlist like that, it's like it's just I don't know. Like I it's the only word I keep saying, but it's how I feel. Like it's like it just sounds crisper. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's like I don't know what's happening with the mix on this one per se. I don't know what's I don't know if the engine if it's the same engineer or different engineer. Probably different engineer because you just said it was for a different project. Maybe that's the reason why some of these songs are like that. But I don't know. I think it's a bop.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like
There's another song on here that I want your thoughts on in relation to it being a bop. But yeah, go ahead.
But what do you think? You didn't like her flow on it, or you were looking at the words? What words? stood out to
Honestly,
you? What didn't you like?
I'm with you. Did not like the Dixon guy. Don't care about this song really. I don't think it fit here at all.
Yeah.
And I just this to me wasn't her. This felt like something Dixon wanted to do, and she was just like, "All right, cool."
I can see that. I like this style on her, but I do agree with you. It didn't fit thematically. Like you're already winding me up to talk about vulnerability, and now it's like, oh, we bragging. And I like bragging songs. But it did feel a little like out of place after, especially coming from D&D. Next one, Stand Tall.
I like this one.
Yeah. So me first, you first. You go first this time. I went first.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. I like this song strictly because of they wondering if I'm an Eat the Coochie fan, all because I choose to style in sneakers and some baggy pants.
See, those bars.
There's this line, and then there's another line on. I can't remember the name of the song, but there's another line where she's like, "If I'm gonna eat the coochie or like some dick in me." When she talks about her sexuality, on this project, it's like real personal. It doesn't go as deep. I enjoy it because it's something that's personal to her. And I feel like that's when you
What you
get
want more?
genuine. I do want more, but I think she is also being genuine and open about it, even though, it's personal.
Fits thematically. I think we're back on target again after Pop Star. The production sounds
Star.
like Memory. Well, it was a black pop star.
Mm-hmm.
Fits thematically. The production sounds like memories, like or like mental reflection that comes with age. Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you listen to like the little I don't want to say bird sounds, but it sounds like nature sounds in the background.
Right.
I also put the note on about people questioning sexuality. I also like the line where she said, "Either you Annie or you Anakin, both in the struggle with the former, embracing the
Yes.
darkness."
Yes.
I thought that was a
I
good
like
line.
that too. It's dope.
And then I'm not sure if you caught it. She was like the right hook, kick, push bar. I'm not sure if you heard that bar.
Did see that. Yeah. Thought about Lupe.
Yeah, I thought about Lupe. I also thought like she's fighting with the hooks and the kick and and then also
Mm-hmm,
like she's a
mm-hmm.
rapper, so she's like fighting with her hooks on the kick, which is the drum, and she pushes off the
Right, right,
bars. So I thought it was like a nice triple.
right. This song was nice, especially in the bars. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was a nice triple, Mister. Oh, she's not rapping. Like I was like, I don't know, that seemed like one to me. She did it.
On this one, she randomly mentions Dick Gregory.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was there too.
Yet we're not getting the reason why she's mentioning these people.
Yeah,
She's not fully explaining it. It goes back to how she just cuts the rhyme off. She just mentions them, and that's it. We're not talking about this anymore.
yeah. Maybe that's why it made me feel like that. I feel like I need like the whole like what do you mean by that? Why is that metaphor important here? Like I feel like I do need that. Next song, that one time. Oh, by the way, Stand Tall, Eric G. One and only
Mm-hmm.
times this guy is on here, and he did a good ass job on the beat. Doesn't show up on any other beats. Not that I recall from my notes. So I just thought that was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That one time, Black Odyssey, back at it again. It feels like a continuation of the last song, more reflection in terms of like the production style. The verse hits, but I liked it doesn't necessarily fit this production style.
Interesting.
Her I guess we're talking about the lesbian experience in this. Looking deep into herself and asking what's wrong with her, and the hypocrisy and all that. I think,
Yeah.
and then what's to say? I think accountability comes with self actualization. So sometimes even when you have that, you can be scared to admit anything. I think that's what the song. Maybe that's what she was missing in it. I don't know why I've said that, but that's what I wrote here. I wrote a note to myself. Maybe you could help me recontextualize that. But what was your feelings on the song?
Again, for me, I like when she's being introspective and questioning her actions. And when she's giving you a view into how something made her feel and things like that. Because with this one, when talk about being vulnerable, okay, talk about exposing a large part of your life. For me, I'm not telling nobody if I'm doing this type of stuff. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. As far as the production and things like that, or why you wrote down what you wrote, I'm not sure.
I think
But I do think she's questioning the the ideologies and things like that she grew up with, because it feels like she wants to know where she went wrong,
I think
and
that's why I wrote that.
why she's doing the things she's doing. Because even here it says who I am, who I'm living for, my parents, pastors, my demon, my fears, my nieces, my nephews. It's like she doesn't know why she's doing what she's doing. Doesn't understand why she's making the decision she's making. So maybe that has something to do with why those lines stood out to you.
No, I think I wrote that. I don't think that was a line from her. But then now that you said that, I think I remember why, because it was like all those questions that you just said she's asking. I think that's why I wrote that, because I was like, I think accountability comes with self actualization, not like necessarily they're hand in hand, but like when you get one, it's easier to get the other. And then sometimes even when you have one, you can be scared to admit to anything. So I guess when you have self actualization.
When you have sex, okay.
No, my bad. Sometimes even when you have like self actualization, I think you could still be scared to like take accountability for things.
Yeah.
And feel like especially for women it's harder. I don't know why though.
Yeah, listen, I agree. They never want to, ever.
And I think it's funny because I feel like, and I don't want to generalize them, but for the most part, I think they want to, self actualize. They want to know truly who they are and experience it and tell the world. For the most part, I feel like guys are able to just stand on it. Like, you know what? I'm a hater. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you have the self actualization and the accountability. Fuck it. I hate this. I'm about it. I hate, you know what I mean? And I don't know.
I think it has something to do with just how we're raised as male and female, because with the males, for some strange reason, society wants you to express those things. Society wants you to be brash. Society wants you to be out there. You have this position of being the provider, you go out, you do this, you do that. You're the face of whatever relationship. Whereas for women, society says you're supposed to be in the back. You're not supposed to be brash. You're not supposed to be this. You're not supposed to be that. But then at the same time, they're like, but you mature faster than the men. So I feel, speaking to your point, it kind of puts women in a position where they want the ability to be able to express themselves in the way that men do, but the conflict comes in when they actually have to do it, because they don't understand what comes with that. Because even with men, when you express yourself in any form or fashion, you get pushback.
Yeah, you can still get blacklisted.
Somebody's not going to like something. And with women, I feel, speaking generally here, a lot of the times they don't necessarily experience that pushback because nobody checks for what they want.
Or what they're feeling, yeah.
So they don't get a situation where they have to deal with somebody saying, well, I don't think you're right. Or I'm going to push back on this because I don't like it. And when that happens, it creates a weird situation.
But yeah, let's not dwell. Next song. We actually talked about this earlier, your 3 a.m. I already got your opinion on it, so let me just put mine. This is S1.
Isn't he also Lupe?
Yeah, he works with a lot of people. S1 works with a lot of people. Beat is smooth. But if you're thinking about Lupe's longtime collaborator, that's Soundtrack. Beat is smooth. It's some Love Jones-ish. You know what I mean? Like this is like I know that she says the brown sugar in there, but it's basic. This sounds like from a soundtrack from one of those movies, right?
You think so?
I'm not gonna lie. This might sound blasphemous. I don't think this is Erica's strongest performance.
Really? I actually enjoyed her on the hook.
I don't want to say it's bad. It's not bad. I just feel like I've heard her do better.
Okay. That's fair.
I don't know if that's me. I feel like I've heard her do better. But I still enjoy the song overall. I like it because it's like a mature way to talk about like your love. You never really have a female rapper respectfully talk about their guy or spit game to their guy and I think this perspective is tasteful, and provocative, all in like the same breath. Because I know we talked about Glorilla, and then I would even I don't want to I would even say Megan Thee Stallion does this. I feel like a lot of times it's like I'm sitting on a man's face, he has a beard line up, like okay, but like as a guy, I don't want to just hear that all the time. Like damn, like I gotta like just for my girl to like have a good life, she gotta ride my face 24/7. Like I don't. They might say
I mean,
that, but I don't know.
I think we need to allow women the bandwidth to express their likes, needs, and wants.
No, they're allowed. I'm not saying I'm not here for the ratchet stuff. It's just like it's just so aggressive, you know. Like
If you,
I feel like Rapsody is like kind of saying that, but it's smooth, you know. Like I don't know if that's just because of the type of person I am. Like I like, you know, I don't want to say subtle flirting, but like you know, like yo, be cool. You know what I mean? Loose rocks, you could go. This is S1.
I feel like this is the most personal song on here, and the song that I think I personally can relate to the most. Because I've been through situations where a family member is going through something and you don't know if they're going to make it. You don't know how things are going to turn out. And you don't know what to do.
100%.
And all you can do is just be there.
100%.
And I think that's why I enjoy this one so much. I can't like the beat and all that stuff. Yeah. Again, you'd have to speak to that because, you know, you're the resident artist. I'm just a hater. And that's where this song sits for me. Because and then this is family also.
Yeah.
So that's where it hits.
I like this song overall. I think this song fits thematically also. I also relate to this one because the grandma issues, I'm kind of going through this right now. I thought it was crazy fact about the baby that she referenced that she had to give up.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a very vulnerable line. I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, okay.
When I heard that, I thought of Little Kim.
She said that in the song before too.
I don't know if it was a song. It might have been an interview, but she talks about getting rid of the baby she was going to have with Biggie.
Oh, damn.
And how she regrets it.
Sheesh. Yeah, because I know like her way to remember him. Damn. Anyway. And then I was a broken heart creates sickness. And then she was wondering if her grandpa dying did this to her grandma. And it's so funny because I wonder the same thing about my grandma. Because like
I don't think
obviously as they get old it happens, but like in particular once my grandfather passed, like she just let go.
Okay.
And I feel like it's accelerated.
Possible. Definitely possible.
I felt like that was relatable. I like the song overall though. But yeah, those rang true for me. Yeah, and I like the production. I think it was smooth. I enjoyed it. You didn't like it, you were saying?
But the production?
Yeah. I think
no, I was saying I can't necessarily speak to the production because it's a beat.
I like the chorus with her and like that singer in the background. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the production. I mean, not the production.
I can hear you.
Background. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about. The Alex, it was her. It's like a chorus. It's like a double up chorus. It's her and another guy.
I just know BB Borley.
Okay. Next song, Diary.
I'm sorry, looking at the wrong thing. My bad.
Diary of a Mad Bee.
E-word.
S1. I guess the anger she was feeling needed to be released. But, you know, it was surprisingly still tamish. Good beat. I like how it abruptly goes from the smooth one we just listened to like this kinda. So I feel like that was the energy she's trying to channel. Feels a little hollow though. And then the line that stood up to me: "Seen enough ass. That shit ain't special no more."
That's a wild statement.
Well, that's what I feel about like these women talking about like I don't want to sound like the
Okay.
kettle calling the teapot black. Like obviously men have been misogynistic in rap for like years, but I
Right.
don't know. Like when I said that earlier, I mean
You
like
want a different subject matter.
not even the subject matter. Like be cool with it. Like it's like they making it sound like all a
Be-
Negro want is the poon, and probably the
okay.
dudes they messing with, but. They trying to holler at you the way it do holler at you, and it's like, well, not all dudes are hollering at you like that, you know. And then I feel like
I see.
they perpetuate what they don't want to happen to them with those songs. I don't know. It's just weird because it's like, all right, you guys don't want guys to do this to you, but then like the song be like that, and I'm like, you're not helping the
But you know the
cause.
reason for that.
Yeah, that's the market.
The reason for that is they don't write it.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know. I just appreciate when it's done tastefully and properly like this.
Okay. I hear you.
That's my.
I was gonna ask. I know you said the beat was hollow, but I was gonna ask if you feel the same way about the S1 production, like you feel about what's the other guy's
Black
name?
Odyssey.
Yeah, Black Odyssey, or is it close?
So on some he does real good. So S1 did good on 3 a.m. and then he did good on Loose Rocks. So I don't know what happened here, and I'm kind of arcing back to what you said earlier. I wonder if a lot of these beats were like for different projects, or like she got them at different times, or sometimes I know with producers like Ninth Wonder, S1, Alchemist, they'll send a folder, and this folder will contain like a multitude of beats made at different point in this dude's life. So like they may
Right.
not all sound up to the same quality as one another. And at that point you're kind of just beat shopping. So usually what I would assume happens is once they get picked the beats, they would go to the engineer or whoever they need to and then fix it in a vacuum and make sure it's consistent amongst all the beats. But I don't know why I feel like that didn't happen here
Okay.
in the project, like overall, not this song in particular, but the project overall.
For me, this is another song where it's just like, it's there. It's just there. This is the song with the Jodies and the nonsense. Like I said, I don't care for Baby Boy.
So I was gonna ask, so like
That right there
what
turned
did
me
you
off.
feel about her presumed anger?
I mean, I think as far as relationships go, and when women deal with men, depending on who this guy is, because you know sometimes men are questionable. It's warranted.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of that in media and social media and a lot of the men are trash to a lot of women. It's very unfortunate. And whenever they express their anger about whatever situations they're going through with men and what the men did to them and all this stuff, it's warranted. So I don't want to discredit or
What she went through, yeah.
play down what she went through or anything, but it's I've heard it before.
Okay. I feel like we kind of saying the same thing, but my stance on it is like, if you're gonna be angry. Hit me with that. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna be angry, be angry. I don't think it was just the production I was talking about Hollow. I just feel like she kind of said the same expected things. And
Right.
I'm like, which is not bad, if you went through the same things that not most people, but like, people went through is fine. But like, all right, like, let me get your spin. Like, I don't know, be angry. Like, the song is titled this. I want to hear more anger. So,
Okay.
never
What's the
enough.
next one? Okay.
Producer enters the ring, Major 7. Love that it's a reggae vibe song. Right? I would say good song for her first foray on this style. I'm not sure if she has other ones, not that I'm recalling from her other albums. Probably like samples, but not really a full blown song. Very laid back, does fit thematically, but my issue, like the other one, is it's not too giving on the mix. And the Malik Robert art, I picked that line for you because this guy has real good art. I'm not sure if you ever heard of him. He has really cool art, and I was like, you know what? I might buy one of this guy's stuff, and I followed him on Instagram after hearing that line. And you know what's funny? I've seen his art. I just never knew this guy's name. You don't like it? I feel like I thought I figured.
No, I didn't. I'm not saying I don't like it. It reminds me of Basquiat, and some of it also reminds me of Picasso Cubism.
Yeah, it might be a little bit on that. But all right, cool.
For me,
any notes on it? Go on. Rapid fire,
on this song.
No diatribe.
I like how she talks about Nas, because whenever when she mentions Nas, I think about him and Damian Marley.
I like that. I'm going.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, cool. He shot me. Black Odyssey's back on this one. We back to the jazzy reflection sound. Love the twist on Bob Marley's hook. Black Murder. Song was too short for me though, but I like how it was quick and to the point, and I feel like it needed an outro.
Yeah, this is the one that talks about Breonna Taylor, and it seems personal for her somehow, some way.
Yeah,
but
it's like a narrative.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know how much this fits into the theme of the album, because this isn't necessarily about her to me. To me, this speaks more to the people that died.
Well, maybe she's just saying she is those people. We all one. Looking at it like that.
Is she?
All right, next one. God's Light. Eric G. Back on it again. I don't know if that's a sample of Chronix or he's actually featured. I didn't see his name on it. But like the use of him. I like her vocal reverb on this one. This is one of the songs where I feel like the quality of her vocals was like high tier compared to the other songs, and I just wish this was the vocal treatment she had for the whole album, because then it would have sounded more consistent for me, which made me put the lens on how inconsistent this album was more so in terms of sound quality. Blessings shining on you is the overall vibe that I got from this song.
So Chronix is on this. He's on the chorus.
He's and they say he's featured though, right? No, because I feel like on my phone it didn't even say featuring Chronix. It's just he's just there. Like the other songs were saying featuring. This one it's like no feature. Yeah. It doesn't even say like Rapsody and Chronix like joint song. I think it's him, but I don't know like what their deal was on that. But go on.
Okay, so he's not getting the credit, you mean?
Yeah, like he's just not.
For me, this one, this might sound like I'm diminishing the song, but for me, I liked her addressing her and Ninth's relationship and comparing it to Q-Tip and Fife's and whatever's going on there, because I told you earlier, they're not together anymore. And listening to her from like her mixtape days and stuff like that, hearing this means something to me, because I always thought he'd be there. She was signed to him.
Yeah.
So hearing her address that, even though it's not like in depth or anything, I just like that.
You don't have to go like into too detail, but like why? What like is something happened to them, or did she just decided it was time to go?
So that's the thing. Nobody.
Okay.
I think it's a lot to do with that, but I also think it has something to do with the fact that he wasn't able to put her into position she wanted to be in. Okay. Because she doesn't explicitly say what happens, but she just alludes to it like this.
Okay, that's fine. You can leave it like that then. Back in my bag.
I don't doubt you. I wanted to ask you about this one because I know you had an issue with Black Pop Star, but what do you think about this one? Does this one fit thematically, beat-wise, and everything?
So this is Major 7, the guy who did the reggae beat. Another single that dropped another single dropped. It dropped after the album dropped. I think the beat could have been mixed a lot better, and it needed more loudness for impact, for the way she wanted this song to be received. Feels like it should be on a movie soundtrack with the horns. The gruff reminds me of Layla's Wisdom, but not mixed as well. She's on
This
her
reminds you
braggy
of
shit.
Lola's Wisdom.
In terms of the energy that she wants us to receive from this track, yes. Does it work as well as that album? No. And that's why I feel like it feels like a cut that could have made that album if it was better. She on her braggy shit. I like the line, "Father made way for me, feel like I'm brawny." Jonah wish me well. Let's play on the whale, Jonah and the whale, but she means well. Low main food.
Corny, man. So corny. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you read some of these lyrics without the beat, corny.
That was funny. I just thought that one was funny, but I like the brawny and father line legitimately though. I'm going because father meaning the God, but then like you get that one.
Yeah.
What do you feel? I don't know. I just do feel like a lot of the songs where she wants to go hard, I feel like there's something in it that steps on her foot.
I think it's the lyrics. For me, with this one, I know you don't like the beat and everything, but I think the beat works well with the braggadocio because
it's just not like, I don't know why they're undercutting these beats. They're doing it to themselves.
I can't speak to that, but I like it because of how she's coming on it and how hard she's going.
Pause a little.
You can pause it, but I think what you just said, where something's just stepping on it, when she starts talking about all these people, Malcolm in Saudi, Dolph, Nipsey, Lauren. I don't understand why she keeps trying to repeat the same themes through a bunch of different songs.
Make sure we don't forget them. Next song, Nico's Interlude. This guy can rap. This guy is nice. I think she signed him. I think this is her artist because apparently also she has her own label.
It does?
And yeah. Charlamagne called her out on it in the interview, and I think in the credits of this album, it's there. So I think she's doing her own thing.
I did not know that.
Definitely a spoken
I saw
word
this
feel
dude
on this song. Production fits thematically. Definitely a setup for the following track because of the way he says a particular word a bunch of times.
What word is that?
He says raw. Like if you listen to the way he does this song, it's like he's rapping, but it's like spoken word. Like every bar ends with the word raw, and he's like doing different plays on the word raw.
I like the first two lines where he's like, "Love is raw, raw is war backwards." I like that.
I heard that before too. That line from other artists, but yeah, I think that was good. I'm just shocked that you can't hear the production sound differences.
I mean, it's not so much that I can't hear it. It's just
jump back up with this song compared to Back in My Bag, and I'm just like, why? Like, I don't know. That breaks immersion for me. Sorry.
I guess I just wasn't paying attention to the subtle shifts because to me, I feel like the beats and the production are doing a lot of work. Like they're masking a lot.
I wonder if they put
so to hear you say that they are also a problem, it's actually kind of interesting because if the beats are also an issue and the beats are masking other issues, where does this shine?
But I don't want you to think I'm like shitting on beats. Like I could still tell you if a beat is good. It just needs like the love, and I feel like A lot of these beats are good. It's just like I don't know. In the final stages, somebody dropped the ball somewhere.
You know what's funny? I think it's also the same for the lyrics
Oh shoot.
and the theme. I think they all suffer from the same thing. It's like it's there, but we're missing that one little piece.
Yep. Any words on Nico?
No,
All right, cool. Raw featuring Lil Wayne, S1.
Didn't-
By the way, soundtrack did the Nico interlude. I don't think it's the same Lupe soundtrack. I think it's a whole nother producer called Soundtrack, so Lupe soundtrack needs to sue. By the way, Raw featured Lil Wayne, produced by S1. Production feels old school, thematically fits for me. When I saw the track list, I expected some wild out of pocket Wayne bars. I was not disappointed, but surprisingly, he was still tame in his standards. And when I say wild bars, I don't mean like wild out as in like good wild. I mean wild as in this man be saying anything on the beat sometimes, and it's quite crazy. Still manages to do it, but not as crazy as he would have done it if he was '09 Lil Wayne. Song was to the point. Again, this one sounds muffled. Rhapsody sounded like Wheezy a little bit to me on this, and I think she beat him. Line that stood out to me: rap and strike through. I still laugh in bold.
I did not like this song at all. I'm not a huge Lil Wayne fan, so like I can take Lil Wayne in spurts, but I'm not. It's like you said, he just gets on and says whatever.
You know,
As far as Rhapsody goes,
yeah.
As far as Rhapsody goes, this is the song where she's talking about being a pick me and saying all these weird things about Nick Cannon and all these other people. And I was just like, what's the point?
Good. All right, next song is The Treat, the one that you wanted. Lonely Woman, produced by Black Odyssey. Thematically fits like a motherfucker. Was shook at when I first heard this song. This is one of the songs I had gotten up to when I told you I was at the gym listening to it. And I was like,
That
on the
must have been
Stairmaster,
awkward.
and this hit me, and I was like, what the? While on the Stairmaster, creative as hell to me. Never heard a song like this. If it was done before, I missed it, and it must have not been in my time. I encourage any woman out there to listen to this song.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
The whole song, or just like the opening
the whole
chorus?
song. I actually encourage any woman to listen to the whole album, but definitely this song.
I would say they should listen to her over this.
Really?
Because because her, you have championing of different women who went through different things, who achieved different things.
Oh yeah,
Some
yeah.
were
Well,
the first,
Rhapsody in general.
you know.
Yeah, that's fine. And that album. But I will still tell them to listen to this because I feel like I know a couple people, women that because then I know what you're saying, but then like that's still like black culture. And not necessarily every woman is entrenched in black culture. Black women are entrenched in black culture, yes. So for the most part, I'm speaking for generalized women, whether Hispanic, white, black, should give this album a listen to in totality. Her, yeah. I mean, yeah, her, I feel like every woman should listen to, but let's be honest, like, my Spanish friends are not going to check for her.
That's fair. But I mean, as far as this goes, I feel like I wouldn't necessarily recommend this because I think other artists have done this better.
So that's why
especially,
I must have missed it. Who did this?
Yeah, because if you... No, not this specific song. Like the themes of this album, I think
definitely
you get better versions of that in R&B. Like, you can throw a rock and hit an R&B album that does a better job at that stuff than this does.
But I feel like it's good for perspective of like from rap though.
I got it. My neck, my back. You know that one.
Okay.
That was during your lifetime.
I guess so.
Um,
I guess. Next song, a ballad for homegirls. Black Odyssey back on it. This is basically that girlfriend talk. I think this song would work well as a video. It gave me early 2000s Common era type vibe.
mhm.
I heard the name Baby Tate, but never listened to her music, and I feel like she did her thing on it. But
She's the reason I enjoyed this because I haven't heard a Baby Tate project, but I've seen snippets of her on social media because she posts like freestyles and stuff. She's amazing.
yeah, she's fine. Like she was able to do both. She rapping, singing, rapping. I was like, what is this? This
Yep.
is crazy.
Very talented.
Please don't cry interlude. Have no notes on this. Pretty much just an interlude. Helped to fit the narrative of the story. Felicia Rashad back. How do you feel about Felicia Rashad's parts? 10 seconds go.
Sometimes I felt like they could be kind of confusing because you don't necessarily understand where she's going, what she's going there for. It's like you didn't even know that it was a beautician. You didn't know she was going to do her hair.
I thought it was
Some of it,
the whole time. That's crazy.
right, right. So it's like a commentary on where, because you know how men have barbershops,
Yeah. So yeah.
women have salons, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was just a little confusing because certain aspects of that weren't made clear.
Okay. I know in the interview she said that she sent her the lines and she was able to record it on her phone and just sent her the phone recordings, and they were able to use it. So I thought that was pretty dope of her.
It didn't seem like they were in the same room.
Yeah, that is the negative of that type of setup. But I think they were able to do good with what they had.
Again, for me, this is where like the background noise did a lot of work.
Okay.
Because on the interludes and stuff with Felicia Rashad, I can hear the difference. Rapsody sounds like you or I do on this mic right now, and Felicia Rashad sounds like she's outside talking on the phone or something.
Next song, Faith, Major 7, same reggae and Back in My Bad Guy. This beat melds well in the project. I think this is the first beat I heard from him that actually sounds mixed. Feels like the outro of the album. Wish her vocals were a little bit louder. I feel like the beat was drowning her out. Def a religious vibe song. Do you think the song placement here is how healing leads you back to the spiritual? Question for you.
No, I think she just put spiritual stuff into that aspect just because she's comfortable with it.
Okay. I was trying to see if there was like a bigger narrative, like where it's like you gave me all the revealing stuff, and then we end on like spiritual healing. Like I didn't know if that was like
Dog, she talks about the
intentional.
devil in this.
Okay.
Talks about the devil. She's trying to redeem the devil here in some of these lines.
And you didn't like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. I just to your point earlier with
I don't think it's
Marlana,
necessary the literal devil, but go on.
it literally it says reciting Hebrew, the devil fell from heaven, patched his wings, kissed his boo-boos, my spirit broken, so I know faith is what I can't lose. Try to redeem the devil.
I think she was comparing herself as to like she could feel like a bad person and then redeem through the Redeemer.
You could have found a better way to say that. It just speaks to your point. It's like, why mention certain things? Yeah.
But that's what I took it as. I was like, okay, well, maybe she's just saying we all sinners type thing. Cause it's funny. Like I just started reading Paradise Lost, and I'm not saying that book is trying to redeem the devil, but it tells a compelling story of his side of what happened to him in heaven, and I don't know, like maybe that's what she's kind of going for, that type of perspective, but like really, I know she said the devil, but I took it as in maybe she's talking about man, herself, people she's dealt with. That's what I
can understand that, but sometimes it's better to just be simple.
And then Forget Me Not felt like the credits, and it was like a credit rap song. Thank you for everybody being part of the project. And yeah, we made it all 22.
This is going to be long. I want to know how you're going to chop this up.
I honestly, I think I wrote in my notes here. I think I would give this. I would give this a solid 7, maybe 6.5.
7, okay.
Solid.
For me, I'd give this. Yeah, I'd give it a 5.5, mostly because I don't think
I do
a
think
lot of the rhymes on this.
Go on.
Yes, I think that's my issue. Coming from her to this, and then having a lot of the themes be centered around, vulnerability and right and wrongs and questions about your sexuality, and then you not delve deeply into those things to answer, not necessarily to answer questions, but to actually deal with, whatever people are saying about you. You're just giving us surface level information and surface level takes, and then intertwining random thoughts into them. I just, it's not something that I can put on and play all the way through consistently. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't want to sound mean or anything, but it's just...
You don't think like shaving off some of the tracks will help it for you?
Not necessarily, because the entire thing is littered with, surface level thoughts, and you're not necessarily dealing with the issues you're talking about. Mm-hmm. You're just telling us they happened to you.
Yeah, you think her next one's gonna be good?
I think so. It depends on what the themes are and how she wants to address whatever it is she's talking about. Yeah. I think like a lot of rappers, sometimes she can get bogged down by either wanting to sound a certain way or wanting to talk about a certain thing.
Yeah. I do.
And I also think she only raps a certain way.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if this is all akin to what you just said, but like I do feel like I notice when she takes OD from rap, like she wears the influence on the sleeve. Mm-hmm. I do notice that.
Yep, it's like she does not change her style up, and whenever she does try to change her style up, it's still within the comfortable zone that she's in. Like Back on My Bag, she normally doesn't do stuff like that, but she did it. It's not far out of her comfort zone.
It's not, yeah.
That's
how I feel about Black Pop Star too. I just felt like those were the two like rapidy rap things. Like I said, like modern rapidy rap. Like I don't want to consider it like lyrical miracle, but like I said, when I said Rap Caviar, I doubt you listen to those playlists, but like those are the lists where it's like, I know we say we're in a fast food rap trend right now, but like, it's like the sound of Rap Caviar is like the most heightened version of this fast food rap you're gonna get. It's like fast food rap where like the hooks are catchy, the rapping is there, but it's like you could tell like whoever their team or the mixers are paid the most attention to it. So it's like Chick-fil-A. It's like a heightened fast food, right?
Okay.
So my thing is like she tried to do the rapidy rap fast food thing, and it's just like, all right, if you're gonna compete here, then you gotta like polish it. You know what I mean? And that's what I personally felt like. I'm like, hey, listen, if you want to do what these kids are doing, then you gotta like also like, give the attention that like they are, if that makes sense.
Honestly, I think with this, she took a step back. Mm-hmm. In terms of her, not her rapping ability, but the progression of her rapping ability.
I think that was the first thing I said when we first started this, because I was like, yo, the quality is not as grand as I expected from her on this.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like she's a little stuck, to be quite honest with you. Not with themes or concepts or anything, but like, yeah, it's how she raps. I think she's stuck. And I think she's finding it very difficult to get out of that. Because it it really does not matter what she does. She always sounds the same. Always.
You think so? From her to what's it called? From Layla's Wisdom to her? You think so?
Yeah. I think the themes change, the beats change, but her rhyming doesn't necessarily change. Because even on those projects, she does the same thing where she'll do like a rhyme or whatever and then just cut it.
But that's a style, man. That's like people choose to do
I
that.
know, but that's what I'm saying. Her style isn't evolving. It's not like we clown
But I mean,
Drake
but I
for
mean, like
this,
style
but
as in like that's like like Shaolin Monk, like that's her like style, as in like she won't leave that, as in like that's her, that's her. You know what I mean? Like I don't mean style as
I
in
think
this something she should change. I mean style as in I think that's what she wants it to be.
I think that might be an issue then because it staying there doesn't do what you want it to do because you're complaining about not getting recognition and not this and not that, but then you don't want to change. You don't want to evolve. You don't want to get better, for lack of a better word. You want us to acknowledge and praise the same old, same old.
I won't lie. I was actually listening to Black Thought, and then he has a song with her today actually. And you ever heard of I forgot, it's that Russian writer, George. I cannot say his name. He wrote
Oh,
Crime and
Dostoevsky.
Punishment. Yes, yes, he wrote Crime. I can't say his name, man. Say it for one more time.
Just call him Theodore Dostoevsky. Dostoevsky.
Whatever. Anyway, yo, she rapped toe to toe with this man. Like she had bars on that song. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was before we like met up today. I was like, damn.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
I'm listening.
She rapped the bars. The bars, take the bars out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did she sound any different on that song than she did on this project? In terms of how she's saying her rhymes and things like that.
In terms of how she's saying the rhymes, I guess I'll say no. I really want to say yes because I felt like there was more hunger there than on this album. But if it's on a rhyme scheme, no. I have to recompare it. I just felt like the words that you wanted were on that song, so that's what I was paying attention to.
I know she got bars, you know, but it's like hearing somebody with bars just sound the same and give you bars all the time. It's cool if that's what you want, but if you want variety or if you want interesting from that same person, but they're not giving it to you, it kind of gets old and played out.
Yeah.
Because I think that's also one of the reasons why people stop checking for Lupe. He just does the same things. He gives you
Well, the same topic
dense
wise, but I feel like he gets
bars.
different styles.
Yes, he does.
Like,
But
I
as
feel
far
like
as
he never
topic
has the
wise, people
same
get bored
flow.
for that.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's just stuck there.
Well, any winding thoughts? Because I'm going to stop this recording.
Yeah. My final thought is we did not go into this trying to make this album sound like it's bad or anything. This was just our analysis, how we felt and what we thought. If you like this project, that's great. I would encourage you to voice your opinion and to continue to listen to Rapsody because she's a great artist. She's a great rapper. These are just our thoughts and our feelings, and we did not mean to sound, like we were nitpicking, even though one of us was.
Okay. Listen, either way, I still like it. I'm still going to bump it because I still want to support her. I still love her art. I will agree on the sentiment that this is not her same bag that she's usually in, but I think this is a good reset. I don't know if I don't know if that's her intention, especially after looking at the reviews and hearing her express how she didn't feel like doing this for a little bit. it kind of makes sense for the project to sound the way it does. And I just think she is going to just get back in her bag from this point forward if she continues to pursue this. I know she has other business ventures and stuff going on. So, yeah, that's all I can say for the moment.
I'd just like to say welcome back to the game, Rapsody. I look forward to your future projects. I expect greatness from you because I think you can give us greatness. And I can't wait to see what you do next.
All right, y'all, that's a wrap on this discussion. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of the Brotherly Mix-Up Podcast.
Yes, thanks for tuning into this round of debates and hot takes. As you can see, despite being brothers, we don't always agree.
Ain't that the truth? But that's what makes it fun, right?
I guess.
Remember, if you love what you heard today, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating. Your feedback helps us keep the conversation going.
If you have any burning topics you want us to tackle or speak on, hit us up on social media. We love hearing from people.
That's right. You can find us at the socials listed in the description. We're always down for a good debate.
Until next time, peace.
Peace out.